I have just reorganized my kitchen for the umpteenth time. I know I'm not the only one who does that. Totally rearranges the kitchen time after time after time. It seems like it's almost every other trip. And it gave me a great idea for a video. I thought I would share with you today some of the tips that I've learned over the years RVing on things you need, you don't need, and tips for getting your RV kitchen in order. So we're going to get right into this and move forward. First thing you want to think about is, what kind of camp kitchen do you want? Do you want a kitchen that you can do absolutely everything that you can do at home in? Or are you the camper who is going to use that kitchen only when you gotta? Like, are you the one who's going to take your camper to the campground and then go out to eat for every meal? I mean, we've had those trips where we've done that regular, but I like to cook. So we like our kitchen where we can be comfortable and cooking in it, and I can have everything that I need as I'm cooking. Also, you need to think about what kind of camper you're going to be. Are you a boondocker? We have not boondocked a whole lot in the past, but we're fixing to get a lot more into it. So if you're a boondocker, instead of someone who's on full hookups, this appliance right here isn't going to do you much good. That's my Ninja oven. It's not going to do a boondocker any good unless you can turn on your generator. So you have to make that decision and work on your kitchen based on that. Another thing you may want to consider is, what kind of space do you actually have? Are you in a tent? Are you in a pop-up? Do you have a pool behind? Do you have a huge fifth wheel with all kinds of counter space? I mean, like, the fifth wheel's got it going when it comes to the counter space. Let me tell you, they have some of the most amazing kitchens of all the RVs on the market. At least that's what I think, because theirs are just queen. But do you have space? Because if you don't have space, then your possibilities are limited, and you need to consider that as you're setting up your kitchen. Another thing to consider before you actually get into stocking your kitchen is the weight of the items that you're putting in there. This skillet here is a lot lighter than my old cast iron skillet I used to carry. Therefore, you know, you want the lightest things you can get, because you're paying to carry this stuff down the road. And the better gas mileage you get, the further you can go. Let's get into some of the specific things that I use that work for me. They may work for you. Danny will put links to each of these in the description below, so if you're interested, you can go down there and find them real easy. But these are just the things that work for me that I really like having in the camper. Space savers. Let's talk about collapsible things. These things here are great. This is a collapsible colander. Now, you can get collapsible bowls, you can get collapsible measuring cups, all the stuff. So they just about make everything in a collapsible version, and I'm going to show you 2 or 3 of my favorite. The colander is a must-have because I don't use it all the time, but it's awesome that it collapses and I have it when I need it. Also, at the top of my list is my collapsible dish drainer. I keep it sitting here on the sink. Unless it's travel day, it really sits on the sink all the time. Usually it had dishes in it, but I clean them up just for y'all, so you know, dried them and put them away. But it's real easy. It collapses. I can get it out of the way, stick it in the cabinet, and it'll just go sideways because it goes so flat. And it gives me a place to put the dishes without having to worry about it. Another one of my favorites is my collapsible bucket. This little collapsible bucket has come in so handy for so many things. I use it to mop the floor with. A couple of times when we've been boondocking, it's very clean. I have put it in the shower and run the cold water until I could get it warm into this bucket. And then I can use that water for other things because it's a clean bucket. I keep it clean and it helps conserve on water. This is my collapsible dish pan. And let me tell you, It fits perfectly in my sink on one side so that I can use it to capture the water. When we're boondocking is mostly when I use this. I could also use it if I wanted to wash something outside or something. But it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome because then instead of throwing the water down the drain, I can take the water out and water a bush. So another one of my favorite collapsible things is my laundry tub, laundry basket slash baby washing tub. It has a drain in it. And you can use it to wash small dogs with. There's so many different things that I can use this for. I mainly use it for laundry, but it would be awesome if I needed to go to a laundromat or something. I've got something that goes really small and just goes flat. Something else every RV kitchen needs is a step stool. This one is collapsible. I picked this thing up at a yard sale, guys. I'm a yard sale nut. I love yard sales and thrift shops. But it's handy because sometimes I can't see what's in these upper cabinets and I can't reach it if it falls to the back. There. I gained some height. What do you think about that? But it's just very handy. And the fact that this one collapses like that, fits right down by my trash can. Easy storage. The really good thing about all these is that they do not take up a lot of space. And since space is what we're trying to save, these are absolutely perfect. So I am just like you guys when it comes to stocking my RV kitchen. I am constantly on the lookout for the newest and latest and greatest thing that will help to make my life easier and save me space. Those are the two things I want out of stuff. Make my life easier and save me space. This is something that I just purchased. Actually, I got it in on our last trip that we were out. And it serves two different, actually it goes 3 different categories so much that I didn't know exactly where to put it. These are pots and pans. Number 1, it's stackable. They are stackable. They all just one fits right down in the other because they don't have attached handles. So they fit together absolutely wonderfully. And they have these little divider things with them that keep them from banging and scratching and stuff like that. So stackable is really important in an RV kitchen because this saves. I took out some huge pieces when I brought this in that were taking up all kinds of space, got rid of them, brought these in, and now my footprint is much smaller. So they're stackable. They come with these things here that hook on like this, which is really nice. And they have multi-purposes because I can put them in my little toaster oven here. I can put them in the oven on the stove. I can cook them on the stove top. And they also came with, this one doesn't go with this one obviously, but lids where you can just pop them in the refrigerator and store stuff in them if you want. And I got the set that came with its own spatulas and stuff like that just because it was fun to get new stuff. You know, if you're a woman and you have a kitchen, it's fun to get new stuff for your kitchen. This is the one that goes with this. And it seals it and you can, you know, store things in the fridge then. And another thing that this does that I really like, and I'm going to try to get some footage. I cooked last night in it and I didn't even think about it, but nothing sticks in here. It washes off the easiest of anything I have ever used in my entire life. And I'm pretty old. I've used a lot of stuff, but it really comes clean, super easy, which will help us on a lot of fronts. I don't want to spend all my time in the kitchen, cooking or cleaning. So this is something I highly recommend as far as my using and all the stuff it does for me, all the categories it fits into. So let's talk about appliances. We have 3-burner stove and we have an oven. We have never ever used our RV oven. I have only used it for storage. I honestly believe the people who had the RV before us never used the oven either, and that's fine. I will tell you a trick about using your RV oven. If you are going to use it, I don't like the heat it puts out. So that's the biggest reason right there that we don't use it. If you're going to use it, find yourself a stoneware that will fit over the shelf, and that stoneware will help distribute the heat because the heat all comes from the bottom, and it will help distribute that heat more evenly and your stuff will bake better. So I do know that from using it previously, although I don't use it now. It's a storage thing. I have replaced my oven with this. Now here's a tip. When you have appliances in your RV, they need to have more than one use. Anything that has just one use, if you have space with it, that's great. We don't, because, you know, we travel with 3 animals. We travel with a zoo. We have to have all the pet stuff with us. So this right here is my Ninja oven. I absolutely love this thing. I love it because of all the stuff that it does that I don't have to carry other appliances for. It will air fry, it will broil, roast, bake, convection bake, it will make toast. It just does everything. So, and I can also fit a 9x13 cake pan in here if Danny decides he wants cake one day. So not only that, but it pops up and doesn't take up my counter space. So this is by far my favorite appliance that I have in the RV, aside from my coffee pot, which can't live without coffee. Now, this is another one that I think is a must-have for every RV. It says Instapot on it, but it's not an Instant Pot Instapot. It does all these different things. It will slow cook, stew, sear, bake, steam, roast. You can do rice in it. It's like a crock pot / stove burner combined is basically what it is. And you can cook anything. I can make chili, I can make soup, I can cook a roast in it, I can do a peach cobbler in it, because put something in it and let it sit all day while I'm gone. It covers all these things for me. Like I say, you need appliances that do multiple things and not just one that will only do one thing. So, a couple things you need to know. When you're storing products that open and stay open, you really need to consider some kind of airtight container. This is sugar. I don't know if you've ever camped in Texas or not, but Texas is notorious for ants. And we had an invasion. You learn real quick, anything that is loose like this, put it in an airtight container so that the critters and the varmints and the bugs and the ants and stuff like that can't get to it. You'll be really glad you did. They won't be able to smell it, and because they can't smell it, they won't come into your home looking for it. Because this is our home, right? Also, another thing that I've done that has really helped in organizing my pantry is I bought these baskets. I have 2 in this shelf, one in the back that has nothing but canned goods in it. I stack them up. It works great. Every time we would stop and I would open this door, I would have multiple things fall out. I don't have that issue anymore. Baskets are your best friend when you're in an RV. I'm not kidding. They are always your best friend. The one in the front, I put just smaller things in, things that fall out or things that get lost in the back. So having this right here has really, really helped. There's a time and a place for paper plates. We use those on a regular basis when we're boondocking so that we don't have to wash dishes. So make sure you have a stack of paper plates in your RV. But also, we like eating out of glass dishes. It just makes it feel more homey in the rig. These are the things you can do to protect your glass dishes. Number 1, we use Corella ware for a number of reasons. It's less likely to break, but it's also super thin. And that super thin takes up it has less weight to it. We don't want to pay to carry big heavy dishes down the road if we can keep from it. We also take and use rubber matting. You can buy these if you want, but I just took some rubberized shelf liner, cut them in pieces that would fit, put them between them, and now they don't slide as we drive down the road. And if you're in a Class C, a Class B, or a Class A, You don't want the rattle of dishes. There are times that we have to get up and search for what is rattling because it drives us batty to hear it the whole trip. So let's talk about the shelf liner. Not only do you want to put shelf liner between your dishes, but you also want to put it on your shelves. It's underneath these dishes, totally lining the shelf. That way, once I have my dishes in there, the shelf liner will keep them from shifting and moving as I'm going down the road. I found something else early on that you may be interested in. I like glass coffee cups. This little mesh here, these are actually wine bottle protectors. You notice I don't have them on wine, but they are awesome to protect your glassware in your RV. Put it over it, put it on the shelf. They can't click together. We've had this in here for, oh my gosh, probably 4 years. Never broken a thing. It's worked amazing. We also, I have these 2 pieces of glass up here. We have the shelf liner between them. They're small. Sometimes you need a glass thing, and it works great. These 2 here also fall in the category of being stackable. You need things that are stackable so that you can save space. For some reason, it doesn't seem right to close this without Danny. Come here, Danny. He's been my camera guy for this. Until next time, God bless and many safe travels.
And go RV, America.